Welcome back. You're still watching Nile TV International and this special edition, and I'm honored to be having with me over the phone for tonight Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, the international relations expert. Dr. Ahmed, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International.
Not at all. This is a duty.
Dr. Ahmed?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes, of course, we have seen today President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi receiving a phone call from the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, and they discussed together the latest developments in the Middle East, as we have seen the attacks between Iran, the United States and Israel in the region, as well as implementing the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire plan. First of all, how do you see the latest developments and the phone call conducted between both presidents of Egypt and Palestine?
I was writing an article yesterday concerning the latest development because, as we see, America, they have two problems in energy. This is why they already extended the matter of, India just to import the Russian oil one more time for 50 days. That means that America having a big problem in the matter of energy that can fuel, the attacks of the Air Force or things like that. And that means that Iran already achieved a score and a big goal versus the United States and the Zionist entity. Number two, the armament and ammunition, because America, even in the defensive, weapons and ammunition, they're having another problem. This is according to the latest development and the biggest, winning and triumph of the new powers. I mean, Iran, Russia, and China, and things like that. And after this, stance and the war that's taking place, that will not last for long, as the president said himself, Trump. I think the Arab countries, as well as the big powers in the region, including Egypt, Iran, and Turkey, with the major powers like Russia and China, should insist to have the installation of the Palestinian state as soon as possible, because after this war, the situation will never be like before the war, because we don't know currently whether Israel will remain or not, because now I found that like a full destruction of all the infrastructure inside Israel, whether the defense or the civil infrastructure and so on. We have a good opportunity, we have to use it, we should have a consensus as Arab and Islamic countries, as well as with the major powers, and the way is well based just to do it. We don't know whether Abbas will have a rule in the next phase or not, because I think a lot of things will be changed. We don't know. We may have a referendum to select the best Palestinian ever president that can be more professional than Abbas.
Yes, that's a very significant point, Dr. Ahmed Mostafa. The next phase for Palestine, and more specifically for the Gaza Strip, as we are anticipating the implementation of the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire plan. According to the peace plan that was proposed by the American President Donald Trump, and of course the agreement that took place here in Sharm el-Sheikh under the chairmanship of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. So how do you see the implementation of the second phase of this plan, especially within the recent developments taking place in the Middle East in general, concerning the United States and Israel as well?
We should be very frank. Do you think that Trump is really a good and frank guy? And after this establishment of this hollow council, this peace council, is really committed to go to the second or third phase in this regard? Or they are trying just to displace and distract all of us by, making another world and another chaotic situation worldwide, just to, not to be adhered to have this or to implement this second phase or third phase. This is a very big question we should ask ourselves as Arabs and as the big regional states, as I told you, just in order to go on in that respect. Because we don't know, after, as I told you, and I repeated 1,000 times, after the demolition of Israel, I think all such accords and things like that should be changed to the favor of the Palestinian people, and Iran and Egypt and Turkey should adopt this matter, the establishment of Palestinian state, because this is the biggest headache for us currently. And Israel is the biggest cancer or the biggest tumor in the region currently. And after the elimination of Israel, I think we will never have any more diseases or whatsoever. Therefore, I think the situation will be much better than this.
Yes, on the other hand, we have seen similar statements between the Foreign Minister of Egypt, Dr. Badr Abdulati, and his counterpart from the United States, Marco Rubio, today. Another phone call was conducted between both parties, Egypt and the United States, and more specifically regarding the recent developments in the region, as well as what took place in Eritrea, Sudan, Somalia, Somaliland as well. How did you see the phone call conducted between the foreign ministers of Egypt and the United States, or the United States, Marco Rubio, as well as the recent developments in the Horn of Africa, according to the statements of Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati?
Yeah. Okay. America and they started just to conduct several contacts several days ago with Russia, and then with Italy, and then with Egypt, just to, mitigate or just to reduce, the tension between it from one side and with Iran from other side. Of course, we have a good opportunity now just to have the good bargain or the good trading off concerning the other regional cases that is surrounding Egypt, including and not limited to Eritrea, Ethiopia, North Sudan, the RSF, Libya, and so on. Because now I think we have the goal, and we should score it to the goal of the West. Because unfortunately, the West and some regional countries, unfortunately, were raising such issues versus Egypt before this, were started. Therefore, I think Badr Abdulati is an expert. Rubio, not an expert. Therefore, Badr Abdulati has an upper hand just to maybe giving a specific agenda or a specific trade-off. And I think Badr Abdulati is like a professional enough in this regard and can do a lot of issues and can score a lot of targets in this regard concerning, his call with Marco Rubio, the state secretary.
On the other hand, we have seen other statements by the U.S. President Donald Trump, as we can see on the screen today, regarding Iran, and he needs the full surrender of the Iranian regime, not just the installations. How did he see those statements? Can they reach that? Can they achieve that in the coming weeks, according to the statements of the American administration?
Yeah, I'm going to call the Trump as one of his assistants in the first, term, called him the unhinged. This guy, I think he's under control of the drugs. Maybe drugs, maybe the Captagon or something like this. Because unfortunately, he doesn't listen even to the big generals at, the Pentagon. He has a meeting on Sunday concerning such issue. And he's going to be between heaven and hell, whether to withdraw with a full humiliation from this world like he did, like America did before in Afghanistan, or he will continue, and every day the depletion of the American economy is greater. Because once, the one day of the war versus Iran costing at least $1 billion US. Iranians, they are not using, too much costing weapons, or they have a feasible weapons in this regard, especially, the drones and so on. The cost of Iranian drone comparing to an American drone is 1 to 10. Therefore, economically, Iran is more efficient in using, the power and things like that. Not only that, Iran so far were prepared very well after the recent war in June. Once America, unfortunately, made this war or waging this war according to the fanatic information of Mossad and Netanyahu, and according to inexpertise or non-expertise persona around Trump, including, of course, Netanyahu, Jared Kushner, and Witkoff. And all of them, they are fanatic Zionists. And once you wanted to demolish an administration like the American administration or any administration, you should be surrounded by the fanatic and idiot people like them. Therefore, all what's said by Trump is illogical according to what we are watching. Demolishing of the bases, even Abraham Lincoln couldn't sustain staying in the front of Hormuz Strait, and they fled because already some of the
Dr. Ahmed, do you think that we can be anticipating a backlash from the members of the Congress, the congressmen, especially after the decision of waging a war against Iran? They weren't consulted in.
Unfortunately, the first, polling that took place in the Congress was not in the favor of stopping the war. However, the more they receive the corpse and the casualties of the American army, the more there's going to be a pressure. Despite all the intellectuals in the United States, the people of, influence or influencers and so on, as we watch and follow every day, we are against, and why we are paying tax to protect Israel, why we raise the slogan, Israel first. This is the biggest mistake ever, and the defeat will be the bigger for the United States. It's going to be a big lesson for the United States in that respect, and for Israel as well.
Yes. Do you think that this war can go on for how much time, especially that we have seen the statements of the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth? He stated that this is just the beginning. We can go on for months. We can go on for weeks. Do you think that this is just a tactic against Iran, or this is the truth? The war can be going on, or the attacks could be going on for months or weeks at least.
Where is the fuel? This is. I will return to the first question. Where is the fuel? Enough fuel? Because now after Hormuz Strait closure, and also Russia already said, I will never get the Europeans anymore after 2026, and I will refer the whole reservoir to the east or to the south. Where is the fuel? America, we have a deficit of 50%, and the fuel stock less than 1 month. We have only 50% reserve that will never contain to the end of this month. How can we do that? Also, the cost of one raid against Iran, it's around $1 billion US. It's not my numbers. It is the American Treasury and things like that. Indebtedness inside the United States, the inflation. Once the gallon of the oil reaching $5 in America, America will have a big rallies and revolutions, and maybe the left will overthrow the capitalism. A lot of things are expected. We wrote about that several years ago because we expected this collapse in 2024. However, it was postponed. And we think this year it will be like a very bad year in the history of the United States. Maybe the collapse of the federalism will take place. Because if this, conformity will take place, I think it will never be made again.
So for how long can the attacks go from the American and the Israeli side against the Iranian targets?
They cannot sustain until the end of this month. They cannot, because they started having talks beyond the same, as I told you, with the Russians and with the Italians, with Egypt, just to reduce and just to make and with Omani, of course, just to come back again to the table of the conversations or the talks one more time. However, the media, as I told you, unfortunately, we have a greater media war and a deep fake in the media, and this president is lying to his people and is lying to all of us. This is why what we watch and what we witness on the social media, all the young generation, especially, for example, in Egypt, will find a comment against America and Trump and his administration and Israel. It is so much sarcastic, and all of them calling him that he's like the craziest person worldwide, and he will never achieve anything. This is the logic. This is the logic. War is not like some words. No, war is a cost, preparation, weaponry, training, a lot of things. Do you know that one of the this aircraft carrier maintenance with Anium costed $1.5 billion US? Do you know that? As I told you, one raid against Iran or each day against Iran in the world costing $1 billion US. From where to get, once the indebtedness of the United States is around $40 trillion US according to the Bank of America. And that means that each capita or per capita in America, that means $170,000 US. It's impossible.
And despite all those costs on the American and the Israeli sides, and of course the Iranian side as well, do you think that the attacks waged by the United States and Israel, and on the other hand by Iran, let's focus on the United States and Israel, they have not achieved their targets so far, especially after the assassinations that took place throughout this week, and including the supreme commander or the supreme leader of the Iranian forces, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei?
No, where are the targets? Because we are hearing different statements from Marco Rubio, from this Hegesis, and Hegesis it means meaningless, I'm sorry, and from this unhinged Trump. All the statements are contradictory. No, we are not trying to collapse the regime. We want to make Iran more disciplined. No, we wanted to, just demolish all the missiles, systems inside Iran. No, we need Iran more friendly with the Arab neighbors. Where is the target of the United States? Can you give me the target exactly from such, statements?
I thought the main target that we have seen being achieved or acquired in the past week was the assassination of the Iranian supreme leader.
Yeah, okay, if, for example, once the Prophet Muhammad died, do you think that Islam extinguished?
No.
Okay, this is the same because...
So
Iran
it's the same
also,
idea, the same regime will continue.
Yeah, of course, because he has, and of course, they killed the good guy. Now the bad guy is coming because most of the people who are coming, according to the elections of the Khabligana, of the expert council, will be the toughest persons ever, including his son Mostafa.
Yes, Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, the international relations expert. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International. We'll have a quick break.